Hey everybody, this is A7X Fan Ben, and this is Pirates with Ben blog number 33. So this is going to be a pretty short episode. Last night, God Mason and I actually recorded episode number 25 of the Pirates CSG podcast. You can find it on my YouTube channel here. You can find it on Shout Engine and archive.org, and it should be on the other sites by now, hopefully. And it was about we had a little news segment, and then we went over a lot of custom game pieces from a lot of different creators, and then we had a few little segments at the end about rules, combos, crew combos, equipment, and specialists. So it was a pretty good episode. It's about an hour and a half, so a little bit longer than some of the odd-numbered episodes recently, but still more easily listenable than the some of the set reviews, which can go pretty long. And speaking of the set reviews, there's only a few of those left, so the podcast will be changing after the next couple of months. And the deal of the day today is 2 packs of Revolution from Wild Loot Sellers for less than $6. So kind of similar to that Ocean's Edge lot. This is a nice way to get your collection started if you're new, or if you want to try out Revolution without getting a full box for, $70 or $90 or whatever it would cost. You can get a couple packs for a decent price and then try out the set. Revolution is a really good set. It introduced the Americans. It's got a lot of great game pieces in it, and there's some forts in there as well. So it's a nice set overall. And then, so card of the day, number 1 through 14 for the set number, and number 9. So that's going to be, I think, Ocean's Edge. Yeah, let me just make sure. DJC is 6, and then MIFN. Yep, so Ocean's Edge is set number 9. And I'm going to bring this up here. Ocean's Edge was pretty much the biggest set released, so there's going to be a high peak for the number of game pieces. I think it goes to around 300 because of the Zeus. Yep. Alright, so 1 to 300 for the game piece number. So 144, that's actually a special edition box ship, and it's the Jape. So this is a Pirate 4-master. It came in the special edition boxes. Number 144 special edition, and it's 12 points, 4 cargo spaces, L move. The cannons are 3S, 2S, 2S, 3S, and this ship gets +1 to reboarding rolls. So as God Mason and I talked about on the Ocean's Edge set review, this is a pretty typical special edition box ship. That being said, it's actually not a bad ship at all. You've got solid firepower and a boarding ability, so this is kind of a ship that gets up close and personal. It's kind of like a short-range brawler. That's kind of how I think of it. Because you've got all short-range cannons and then a boarding ability, which you usually need to ram to use, or at least get with an S to S board. So this is a short-range brawler type of gunship, and it does have enough cargo space to maybe get gold by raiding enemy gold runners. With just a helmsman on, you're probably not going to be quite fast enough to catch some of the gold runners, but if you tried out Hammersmith, who is captain and helmsman for 1 cargo space, the Fire and Steel version of Hammersmith, along with maybe like a same action twice crew like Calico Cat, you might have enough speed and cargo to catch enemy gold runners and then try to take their gold. So that's a decent combo. I would say in 40-point games, probably just captain and helmsman, maybe an oarsman, and then in bigger games, you could try Hammersmith. You could try to be like a hybrid ship maybe, or go full gunship route and then add, I'm thinking a firepot specialist would work well with those S-range cannons, and then maybe a cannoneer and or musketeer, and the pirates have, a bevy of great named crews, so you could try those out as well. Although those I would normally use on better ships like the Black Pearl or the Harbinger and ships like that. So picture of the day is from Economy Edition. So 3 years ago today, June 12th, 2015. This is showing the American waters from the south. And you can see there's a logjam. This is actually one of the more interesting pictures from Economy Edition, I think. So at the top of the frame, you can see the American home island in the upper left. And then the Americans have sent a bunch of ships east to combat the English. So the English were surprisingly doing pretty well in that war for that wild island that we saw. It was one of the more intense conflicts I've seen in a game fought over just one wild island that didn't have huge significance, but it did for these factions in this game at least. And so the Americans have sent a large battle squadron east, and as a result, in the middle, you can see that the native canoes are kind of stuck, so they're carrying a lot of resources. I see it looks like 2 full sets of native canoes. The Americans had 3 sets. It looks like 2 full sets, about 10 canoes are kind of stuck in limbo. There was a traffic jam, a big log jam, so they had to wait for the gunships to pass because the gunships were off to fight the English because they didn't want the English to gain any ground, so they had to delay their resource gathering efforts a little bit. So the canoes are kind of stuck in limbo. And then you can also see submarines. I see 3 submarines. I think they're heading east as well. And you can see some other ships gathering resources and whatnot in different parts of the picture too. So there weren't a ton of pictures from June 12th, 2015, but this was my favorite one. Kind of shows an interesting logjam, and it kind of shows the sheer quantity of ships, in a campaign game as well, because there's 10 canoes, and then beyond them, counting the masts up, that's probably another 10 ships, almost like not on purpose, but kind of almost in like a line abreast type of formation there, heading east to combat the English. So probably see more of that result of that war as we go through more pictures of the day. But for now, that's going to be all for today. So thanks for watching. Give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.